about my dog.
No worries.
Is it too loud?
No, it's fine.
Okay. Well, like I said before, also in BIDM, the interviews are basically anonymous, which means that I don't reveal like your identity, your name, or username.
Okay.
But to differentiate the different interviews I have and the range I have of diversity, I do need nationality and age.
Okay, I'm American
Mm-hmm.
and I am 22.
Okay. Mm, okay, that's it. And so with that, I begin the interview.
Okay.
So, first question is, how did you discover fan edits?
Um, I think maybe like 2016, 2017, they started popping up on my Instagram feed, and I don't know, I never used Wine, so I had never seen those kinds of things before, and I really like them. I remember like every time I'd finish a show, I just go over to Instagram and just search for new edits, and yeah, so that's how I discovered just edits in general, but I didn't start editing until like 2 years ago maybe.
I see. So you did have like an understanding that in Vine there used to be like edits or something.
Sorry, can you repeat that?
Yes. I didn't know that in Vine there used to be edits. Um, can you expand on that maybe? Like you used to see edits, like like you see on Instagram on Vine, something or
Yeah,
similar.
so I think like when a lot of people used to do these like short form, like few seconds kind of small like edit kind of things. I mean, they look very different from edits now, but people did those on Vine. And then when Vine shut down, people started moving to Instagram around at the same time and then started posting their edits there. So since I wasn't on Vine, that was the first time I saw them.
Oh, okay. And what motivated you to start making videos yourself?
Um, I think it was like 2021 or 22, sometime around then, probably 2022. I just watched this K-drama and I really liked it, and so I already had Video Star on my phone, but I had never really used it before, and I think I just tried to make an edit that day, and that was the first time. And then I stopped for a while and didn't start up again for a long time until I just started using After Effects. I don't even know why. I think I just saw a lot of people making edits on Instagram for like characters I liked, and I just wanted to try it out. I didn't think it was going to be anything big. So, yeah.
Mhm. Okay. And what do you hope to express when you edit a video?
Um, I think like the reason I edit is because I'm like into a lot of I guess like TV shows and um movies and just like I have like some celebrities that I like in general. And so when I'm editing, I kind of want to show just what I like about them and what makes me like them. And that's usually what I want to express through an edit.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Do you consider editing a creative outlet for you to showcase some part of your identity or maybe your personality, and in what way?
Um, I think, like, with some there are, like, different kinds of edits, and I feel like they all have, like, different moods. Like, there's soft edits, and there are, like, happy ones, and then there are, like, um, badass kind of ones, and, I feel like with all of those, you kind of just showcase a different part of your personality, like, just based on how you're feeling. Like, maybe if I was really sad, I just make, like, an angsty edit or something like that. So, yeah, and if I was just feeling, like, curious or just, like, happy and, like, full of ideas, then I guess the edit would turn out that way. And, yeah, well, I don't really showcase, like, my identity a lot, I don't know, but recently I did make this edit of, Lara from Cat's Eye, and, she is the same ethnicity as me, so it was really nice. That was the first time I really, showed any of, like, my culture in my edits, and I guess that was possibly a part of my identity that I showed through editing.
Mhm. Okay, nice. And have you ever edited a video to process a personal situation, such as grief, anger, falling in love, another kind of situation you went through?
Um, I think a lot of times, well, how editing started for me was I kind of had all these like hyperfixations on these random topics and people and characters, and I felt like one way to let that out was by turning it into like something creative. And so the time spent to make that creative thing was kind of just me letting out how I felt. Um, but I do think that there have been times when like I'm just stressed out by school, or I'm just like bored in general, or I kind of want to avoid something else in my life, then I kind of just use editing as like a tool to, I don't know, process those emotions, I guess.
Mhm. Okay. And what is your relationship with the material you edit? Do you think you engage with it more from like as a fan or from a more critical personal perspective?
Um, I think it used to be the former way, and now maybe it's become a bit of the latter. Um, I think when I started editing, it was very much so from a fan perspective, just as someone who really liked these characters or couples and just kind of wanted to, make something about them and just share that with other people. And now I feel like ever since I started becoming more, I don't know, just spending more time on my edits and just trying to make them, I guess, more artsy or like unique. Um, I feel like it's not just from a fan base perspective, but also I put a lot of time into like the specific, like, artistic elements and like patterns and I guess music choice or, yeah, just things like that.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Do you use right now like a specific software? And how much do you care about the technical side of editing?
Can you repeat that second part? I'm sorry, I couldn't hear
Oh,
you.
how much do you care about the technical side of editing?
Okay, so I think you said how much do I care about the technical side of editing? Is that right? Okay. Um, so that's also another thing where at the beginning, maybe like a year ago, or even a year and another, I didn't really care about it a lot. I mostly just learned from kind of watching other edits because I still saved, and I mean I still do to this day save and watch a lot, but I just learned from watching other people and maybe watching some tutorials on YouTube. But Now I think I'm very much more interested in the technical aspects. So I use After Effects, and it has this particular part of it called expressions and scripts. And those are written in JSX, which is a form of JavaScript. It's called an extend script. And I write a lot of my own expressions, and I have made some scripts because I have a little background in coding, so it's pretty easy. So I do those, and I feel like they really help make my edit more unique and more personalized. And I would say in that way, I do think a lot about edits in technical terms these days.
Mhm. So, mm, was your interest in technical side, like related to your career since you have like a background in coding?
Oh yeah, that's what's funny. Not at all. So, I'm actually a psych major. Well, I just graduated, but I'm a psych major, and I do know several coding languages, but it's not related to my major or any of that. Um, I kind of do editing in kind of the way that it's just a complete hobby, and I never would want it to become part of my career because I kind of just edit what I want for fun. And I feel like the moment I start having to do it for like making money or for a job, it would kind of take the fun away. And the only reason I edit is to edit what I want. So, yeah, it's not related to my career prospects at all.
Oh, I see. So like coding was like another hobby that you had, or is like
Yeah, I have a lot of like I'm like the biggest time waster, so I have so many different random just hobbies of things that I do whenever I want. Recently, like, well, I know how to knit and I know how to I've done like art, like physical art for a long time just outside of editing. So sometimes I kind of like bring that in to the edits. So yeah, those are the things I do. And I'm also, well, I, apart from editing, I do professional opera training. So, that actually does not factor into this at all, but I do, like, I can read sheet music and I know how to, like, specifically produce music. So, I guess that factors into editing, like, if I wanna make, like, an audio or something, or if I wanna just mark the beats, I guess that makes it easier, but yeah.
nice. That's really nice. So when you incorporate your like the the crafts you do manually, it's like basically doing mixed media. Do you mean that kind of stuff?
Yeah, I've been so, I guess, intimidated just by mixed media in the past, and so I haven't really tried it much until maybe a few recent edits where I kinda just did a bunch of stop motion kind of things, and I also realized that a lot of things I was doing already were mixed media, they were just digital mixed media, so you kind of take another app and kind of make things make specific frames of a video in that app and then you import it into After Effects. And I think I did that with I have this like paint kind of sketch app and sometimes I just draw things on there if I kind of want like I don't even know. I just draw random things and then I just export it and then import it into After Effects. And yeah,
Okay, nice. And do you have any favorite transitions or effects you do?
um You know, there's so many, and I try and like change up like my transitions each time, but recently I've been editing in a 20 FPS frame rate. So, for that, you kind of make like really short and quick kind of transitions, and you kind of want it to be like snappy and like smooth. So I guess my favorite transitions would be those that involve like one frame glitches, where like just for one frame you kind of put an effect that acts as a glitch, and because it's a low frame rate, um, it kind of looks really cool in like when you make the edit. So I would say yeah, one frame glitches are my favorite kind of transitions, and besides that, I just use basic zoom out, zoom in, and transform kind of transitions. It's nothing special.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Okay. And how do you feel your edits are different from other styles or creators within your fandom or community?
Um, I think while they do have a lot of me in them, I just love watching edits in general. So obviously, I'm inspired by a lot of people, and I kind of just learn from them. But I mean, I used to learn a lot more just when I was starting, and now I feel like I wouldn't say my edits are like completely unique and never done before, but I really like this kind of collage kind of style where you put in a lot of different like PNGs and animations and 3D stuff, and it's just like very messy. So I guess that's how my style differentiates from other people.
Mhm. And what steps do you usually follow to create a video from scratch?
So basically these I used to edit much faster and much more, maybe just a few
Mhm.
months ago, but recently, how I edit is I don't really start editing anything until I just an idea comes to me. And if it doesn't, I'll just be like not doing anything. Um, so I just wait for like an idea or like a song I like to come. And so I'll either think of an audio first, or I'll think of a character or ship first, maybe. Um, so I think of one of those things first, and if it's an audio, I find something to edit. And if it's um, a character or ship, I just find an audio for that. And gosh, I don't even know like editing steps. I just put the audio in After Effects, then
Mhm.
I mark the beats usually first, and then I just kind of bring all the pictures in, pre-comp them, and after that's all done, I just add all the transitions, and then like it's just a mix of stuff. It's not very a linear process. So I'll be making transitions as the same time as like decorating them and like adding effects and stuff. And that kind of process just builds upon itself until I think it looks okay and I'm like ready to post it. And then I just put on a coloring or something.
Mhm. Okay. And when you said like you wait for an idea to come to you and later on choose the character or show, does that mean like it's not necessarily that in your idea you have like a character in mind or a show in mind?
Um I mean in that case, yes. Usually I have some characters that, I like. And so if I have an audio, I'll like think who have I not edited in a while, or who do I even just feel like fits this audio, or who I even just want to edit right now. But mostly actually it's mostly the other way around. I just have something I want to edit, and then I just think of an audio that will match whatever I want to edit.
Mhm. Okay. And how do you choose? Well, that's kind of related, but how do you choose the content you're going to edit? Just by
Like
the. Mhm, go ahead.
choose the person or the the topic of what I'm gonna edit. How do I choose that?
When you have like idea, then how do you choose like what specific maybe scenes or what specific characters
Um,
or shows?
well, recently I said this already, but I've been doing a lot more like just celebrities and like picture edits in general. So I kind of just have like a list of celebrities in the back of my mind that I guess I like or respect or admire, and I mostly just edit women or girls because I don't know, I feel like editing guys is much harder. um and I just have like a list in the back of my mind that I can just choose whenever. And yeah, I mean, I guess for what you were asking about, like, how do I choose specific scenes if it's like a video edit, I kind of try and think about the lyrics and just what they mean, and then try and get a scene that either matches it literally or just matches it like symbolically or metaphorically, or it just like matches the emotion. Or like if none of those are coming to me, I just do it randomly. So yeah.
Okay. And now, like focusing on more like the video edits that you do, how important do you think is the music that you choose?
I think it might be a lot of people might not agree, but I honestly think the music is probably the most important part of the edit to me. I never really want to use, I mean, sometimes I do, but I never really want to use an audio that would be like too obvious or that, you've seen people use a lot. I just try and choose an audio that I guess kind of makes you think about the subject or the topic in a different way. Um, like for example, like if it's someone who's always edited in like that cutesy pink or like soft way, then I'll try and like switch it up and choose like a very rock or like heavy song or something like that, and then vice versa. So I think especially for me, since so much of like my edits are just modeled around the music and the lyrics, if there are some, that the music is just, yeah, it's just the most important part for me, I think, choosing a song.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And when you do those contrasts, like you said, uh, it felt like a full, like a very cutesy character, like with a heavy rock song, maybe. Do you do it because you like just the idea of the contrast, like you think it's very fun, or you also like kind of are trying to, when people do like fan can fan canons, I think when there's like they they I don't know how to explain this. Um, like when sometimes in fandoms they do like, oh, I know this character probably likes this book, like, and it's like mixing two words together in a way. So it's like,
Oh yeah,
uh,
so like crossovers, maybe, is that what you're talking about?
a little bit. It's like head canons. Now I remember that one. Like,
Oh, headcanons, yeah, yeah. Oh
do
yeah,
you
yeah.
think you also
So
do that? Hmm?
um yeah, I think sometimes edits are kind of driven by what I think maybe the characters would be into. Like, let's say I'm editing. Gosh, let me pull up some of my edits. I honestly everything I edit. Um, so Okay, so for example, I think this should be an applicable example because it's a show a lot of people watch. But for the show Wednesday, I'm like editing Jenna Ortega, who plays Wednesday, um, and just her in like behind the scenes outfits and stuff. So I'm editing her, and I feel like normally people would use maybe um, a heavier, like a scary or spooky feel kind of audio or something like that. But um, I kind of just thought about her and like how I think about her character. And I feel like while she would like those kinds of songs and music, she would probably also be into like, I don't know, um really like vague, like unique things that not many people know of, or like maybe like vintage things in general. So there's this music genre, I think it's called city pop, so it has a lot of Japanese influence. So there's this specific city pop Japanese song that I thought really fit her and that I feel like she would probably listen to also. So just having that, I guess, like you say, headcanon, I kind of just made the edit based up on that.
Mhm. Okay. And also returning to the music topic, um, do you, besides like thinking it relates to the interest of your character or show or the themes, do you relate to it from like emotional state of yours?
Yeah, I usually try and choose songs that, I mean, usually that I haven't listened to as much, just because I know I'm gonna listen to it a lot during the edit, because I'll, keep playing things over and over. But if it is something that I have listened to a lot, then maybe it's something that I've listened to a lot in the past. So a lot of times I edit with maybe more nostalgic audios or audios that were more popular maybe 10 years ago or maybe 20 years ago. So 2000s, 2010s, those decades. So I have listened to the songs and I have that personal nostalgic connection to them, but I haven't listened to them recently enough for them to be annoying if I use them right now.
Okay. And do you usually have a clear idea of the message before you start editing, or do you sometimes discover it as you edit?
I think it's just like this is a cliche answer, but just like a balance. So most of the time I do have something in mind, but as you edit, you kind of I never make like a specific like plan or like write things a lot down. I just kind of watch it, and as I replay it, I kind of more ideas come to mind of what I want to add and like what I want to change and just how I want to make it in general. So I think there's always a basic idea you have going in, but how the edit turns out is much different from that.
Mhm. And on average, how long does it take you to edit a video?
Um, I used to be really fast at editing, and I would make like an edit like almost every other day or every day. But these days, well, just like with school and everything, um, and also just how I think I've been editing for a while now. And so sometimes I just want to spend more time on something, or even more than that, I don't want to do it all at once. I kind of just might do like an hour or so one day, and then I'll just wait a few days, and then when I want to edit again, I'll do another hour or so, and then I'll be done with the edit. So, I guess for like the short form edits I make now, they're honestly like probably less than 30 seconds, most of them, and they repeat a lot. I would say maybe a few hours in total.
Hmm. The way you separate in a way like your creative process, like maybe one day you do 1 hour and another day you do another hour, is that like to balance your own life, or is it more like you maybe trying to stop yourself from getting maybe sick of editing or burn out?
Yeah, I think maybe during the school year, right now I don't have school just because I just graduated, so I'm kind of just
Mhm.
applying in the process for applying for school. So I don't really have a lot of things to do right now. It's more so just I never want to force myself to edit. I only want to edit like when I want to because I just try and keep it at this like hobby level and I never want it to feel stressful because the point of editing to me is just having fun and because I like editing. So, I feel like if I do more than that, I just do as much as I want to. And when I don't want to, I just stop and do something else. So, yeah.
Okay. And I think you said that there's a few questions before, but I'm going to ask again. How do you decide when your edit is finally finished?
Um, I think it's kind of like hard to tell. I think it differs or like it changes based on the edit. But if I'm just watching it, sometimes when you're watching the same thing, I feel like you get used to it and you don't really see a lot of things that everyone else is going to see because you're just like, okay, these are the same images I've been staring at for the past hour. But I try to maybe either I take a break or I just try and put myself in the headspace of someone else watching it. And so if I'm someone else watching it and it looks, I don't know, interesting or unique to me, then I would say I'm probably finished.
Mhm. And has your editing style changed over time? Why do you think that is?
I think it's definitely changed over time. I mean, over time is like an understatement because I try and change what I do every single edit because I just get bored a lot. And most edits that I post these days are just like an experiment of trying something new or trying a new effect or something. But I would say in terms of style, like I said before, I do a low frame rate these days and picture edits more. So 20 FPS, that kind of style. Before, I used to do a lot more video edits, and that would be in either 24 or 30 FPS. Um, so I would say over time, it's just changed to picture edits because this way I focus more like on the details of things, whereas in the past with video edits, you kind of focus on it as a whole and more on the scene choice and how like it moves. Whereas now I focus more on how it kind of looks in terms of color and like design.
Mhm. Okay. And now on to another topic. And have you ever been part of, or are you currently part of any editing or fandom communities, whether it's on Instagram or maybe other platforms? And what what was your experience, or what is your experience like right now?
Like an editing group or like a fandom, just a general.
Mm, like it can be either of those, depending on if your experience was your either of both. If you're being on both, like you can talk about both.
I think I was in an editing group a while back, but I'm not really active in any these days, so not really that. I mean, I do follow like a lot of editors that I just like in general, but it's not really like a group that I'm in specifically. For fandoms, I don't even know. I mean, there's so many that I wouldn't even know like how to list all of them. But I guess the main things that myself spend time in, like regardless of what I actually edit, I would say like I was into Yellow Jackets for a while, and then now I'm really into the girl group Cat's Eye, so that's kind of what I've been into. And I guess like um mm, I guess like Stranger Things is coming up, so I'll probably be more into that.
Mhm.
It's mostly just based on like what is currently coming out, and then what is like there are like not many long-term interests. Um I guess Stranger Things has been a long-term interest, but besides that, it's mostly just what's coming out now and like what celebrities, I guess, are maybe being more talked about or that I like right now, and it just changes over time.
Mhm. And do you think there is a specific fandom you think you have connected with, like because you engage more like in the community, or maybe do you think that you're more like part of like in general just the editing community? Like how's your how do you feel perhaps your connection with everyone else, other editors, or do you feel it's a community itself? Maybe just being there putting out edits like
Mhm.
with other people.
So I don't really have too many just I guess like groups of people, but I do have this one group chat that has maybe like the editors I'm closest to, and I've kind of known them not too long, maybe like 2 years, where basically this group chat was started because of this period piece show, I think The Buccaneers, and we kind of all were watching that show, but we didn't know a lot of people who were watching it, so just randomly, one of my friends just added all of us to that group chat. And this was like 2023, maybe October, around that time. And so that group chat has lasted till now, and all my all the people in there are editors, so we talk about mostly not editing. So I think now they're mostly just friends, but we also edit at the same time. So I would say there's that, and also I used to be more on Twitter a lot, and there I had more friends just based on the different fandoms I was in, who you would just talk to based on, just characters or what you were into, or if they were closer, you talk about your personal opinions and your personal life and stuff. So yeah, I think for some people maybe editing is more just isolating, but not like in a bad way. But for me personally, it's very social.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Mm. So you think overall the experience for you, like in doing connections, how do you feel about that? Like looking back, like before you start editing and now that you're you
Yeah,
had this
I
hobby. Hmm.
I think I definitely would not have like met all the people I have now if it wasn't for editing. So it just like a lot of people are just like they're on like some mix of like friend and just more like an editing kind of friend. So I kind of just know them as an editor or as a friend, and for most people just a mix of both. And I feel like a lot of people, even though they are friends, I wouldn't have met them if I hadn't like seen one of their posts or commented on it, or if they hadn't done the same to me. So I guess like the connections have mostly maybe started because of editing, but they've maybe moved beyond that. So yeah, I would think like I owe a lot of like my online friends at least right now to editing, because my main group of friends are editors. I mean, I do have a few other that are just like fandom based friend groups, but on Instagram at least, it's mostly just editor friends.
Hmm. And have you ever collaborated with other editors or participated in like editing challenges?
Um, Not really editing challenges. I guess sometimes I challenge myself to just try something new or finish an edit in a certain amount of time. But I have collaborated. I mostly just collaborate with one of my close friends who is an editor because they share the same interests as me, so we can kind of just edit something similar for a collab. But yeah, I don't do those so often just because I feel like they take more time than a usual edit. You would think it would be the other way around because you're technically only doing part of an edit, but there's all like the logistics of like how are we going to bring our pieces together and how are we going to choose like something similar and how are we just going to just put everything together. So I don't do them often, but when I have done them, I just do them with friends.
Okay. And how much do you think the community influences your creative process? Like, do you receive feedback or give any feedback to others, or when you receive comments on your post?
Yeah, I definitely received like a lot of comments that just make me think about like I guess maybe this is what people like more, but I try not to base my editing like who I choose to edit based on that. I definitely choose who to edit based on like what shows I'm currently watching or like what shows are currently out, or just what celebrities are kind of like mainstream right now, or that I like right now, and it's just a mix of both. But I guess based on comments, like I don't really take that into account. I kind of just edit whatever I want. The only time I've like taken people's wants into like consideration, I guess maybe once or twice someone has requested something and I've done it, but mostly I just do whatever I want until I think the last 2 edits, I just randomly put a poll on my story of, like, which Cat's Eye member should I edit, and kind of just did the edits based on that, and that was mostly because I knew I wanted to edit both of them anyways, so I kinda just let people choose who to edit first. But besides that, yeah, I don't really take comments into mind a lot.
Okay. And do you feel your edits are made for yourself, for a community, or for a broader audience?
Uh, I think the most important part is that they, mostly are for myself, but also, um, I feel like maybe almost as equally important is just that, part of sharing that with other people and knowing that people are going to see it. So I think that is important. Um, and perhaps I do structure or like make my edits based on knowing that people are going to see them. So I just try and make them better, but mostly like the topics and like what I want to edit and how the style of it is just solely just up to me and it's what I want to
Mhm.
do.
Okay, so in a way you say that perhaps like more of like the technical aspect or the aesthetic of like more of the aesthetic of the videos, mm, it is influenced by how you think people may receive it, like how they like you got better maybe into more into technical stuff because you thought that if people could see it, you needed to be better, like get better or something.
Yeah, I think yeah, subconsciously probably I am thinking that I need to make my edits better or just like kind of improve, but I kind of just let that be part of the motivation and then the other part of the motivation is just like what genuinely interests me and like what do I want to learn more about or like what kind of style do I want to try that will just be fun to do. So yeah.
Okay. And are there other editors you admire and who have influenced you? If you can say who and why.
Um, there are just so many. Um, it's just I obviously have like my friends who just my small group of friends in that specific group chat I have that obviously they inspire me a lot, but mostly it's just another one of those things where I keep repeating this, but before in the past I used to be a lot more inspired, and I still am obviously, but I guess now I do take inspiration, but it's more like maybe just like a more broader thing that they do, where in the past I just tried to recreate like exact styles and transitions. Now I kind of just maybe if there's like a certain like style or like aesthetic that I like, I try and you know not really imitate that but just take it into mind. um I guess for specific editors, I can't think of like names off the bat, but I would say those editors that do like the collage kind of scrapbook kind of style, or like just ship editors in general who do like transition ship edits. I always love watching those. So I'm really inspired by them too.
Mhm. Okay. And with that, we finish all the questions. And if there's anything you might want to add, that you want to say, you can say it.
Um no, I think that's about it, but Um, yeah, thanks for the questions. They were like really thoughtful and I had fun just thinking about I never really like think about all this stuff, just about editing in general. So, yeah, and good luck. I hope your thesis goes well.
Okay. Thank you so much, Billy, for accepting. It means a lot to me. And yeah, basically, thank you for the support and for helping me be like do my investigation with this thesis. And yeah, that's basically it. If you have maybe any other editors in mind that you think that might want to do this kind of interview, let me know. And yep, basically that's all. Thank you so much. It was
All
really
right,
nice
thank
talking to
you.
you. Have a good
Bye.
day. Bye.